mother, we merely pay you the respect we owe, but why this hurry? Must you go?
I must! This house appalls me. No one in it will pay attention for a single minute. Children, I take my leave much best in spirit. I offer good advice, but you won't hear it. Girl, you talk too much, and I'm afraid you're far too saucy for a lady's ways. You push it everywhere and have your say.
But how?
You, boy, grow more foolish every day to think my grandson should be such a dunce. I've said it 100 times if I've said it once. If you continue the path on which you started, you leave your world broken-hearted.
I think...
And you, his sister, seem so pure, so shy, so innocent. So demure. But you know what they say about still waters. I pity parents who seek to adopt.
And now, mother...
And as for you, child, let me add that your behavior is extremely bad. And a poor example for these children, too. Their dear dead mother did far better than you. You're much too free with money, and I'm distressed to see you so elaborately dressed. When it's one's husband one aims to please, one has no need for such costly fripperies.
Oh, Madame, really?
You are her brother, sir, and I respect and love you. But if I were my son, this lady's good and high spouse, I wouldn't make you welcome in my house. You're full of worldly counsels, which I fear aren't suitable for decent folk to hear.
Your man Tartuffe is full of holy speeches.
And practices precisely what he preaches. He's a fine man and should be listened to. I will not hear him mocked by fools like you.
Good God! Do you expect me to submit to the tyranny of that carping hypocrite? Must we forego all joys and satisfactions because that bigot censors all our actions?
To hear him talk, and he talks all the time. There's nothing one can do that is not a crime. He rails about everything, your dear Tartuffe.
Whatever he reproves deserves reproof. He's out to save your souls, and all of you must love him, as my son had you do.
Oh, no, grandmother. I could never take to such a rascal, even for my father's sake. That's how I feel, and I shall not descend. Oh, his every action makes me seethe and tremble with helpless anger, and I have no doubt that he and I will shortly have it out.
Surely it is a shame and a disgrace to see this man usurp the master's place, to see this beggar, when first he came, had not a shoe or a shoestring to his name, so far forget himself that he behaves as if the house were his and we his slaves.
Well, mark my words. Your souls would fare far better if you obeyed his precepts to letter.
You see him as a saint. I'm far less odd. In fact, I see right through him. He is a fraud.
Nonsense! You all regard him with such distaste and fear because he tells you what you loathe to hear, condemns your sins, points out your moral flaws, and humbly strives to further heaven's cause.
If sin is all that bothers him, why is it he's so upset when folk trappings visit? I'll tell you what I think. If you ask me, he's jealous of my mistress's company.
Rubbish! He's not alone, child, who complains of all your promiscuous entertaining. Why, the whole neighborhood's upset, I know, by all these carriages that come and go. In all of this, I'm sure there's nothing vicious. But why do people cause to be suspicious?
They need no cause, they'll talk in any case. Madame, this world would be a joyless place if fearing what malicious tongues might say. We lock our doors and turn our friends away. Let's strive to live by conscious, clear decree, and let the gossips gossip as they please.
If there is talk against us, I know the source. It's Daphne and her little husband, of course. Those who have greatest cause for guilt and shame are quickest to besmirch a neighbor's name. By talking up their neighbor's indiscretions, they seek to camouflage their own transgressions.
All that is quite irrelevant. I'm sure there's no one more virtuous and devout than the, aunt. I'm informed she condemns him of life most vehemently.
Oh, yes. She's strict, devout, and has no taint of worldliness. In short, she seems a saint. But it was time which taught her that disguise. She's thus because she can't be otherwise. So long as her attractions could enthrall, she flounced and flirted and enjoyed it. But now that they're no longer what they were, she quits a world which fast is quitting her, and wears a veil of virtue to conceal her bankrupt beauty and her lost appeal.
That sort of talk is what you like to hear. Therefore you'd have us all keep still, my dear, while Madame marches on the livelong day. Nevertheless, I mean to have my say. I tell you that you're blessed to have Tartuffe dwelling as my son's guest beneath this roof, that heaven has sent him to forestall its wrath as he leads us. Once more, I heard that laughter
Now that old lady.
Oh, she would thank you for the lady, but I'm sure she'd find the old a little premature.
My, what a scene she made, and what a din. And how this man Tartuffe has taken her in.
Yes, but her son is even worse deceived. His follies must be seen to be believed. In the late troubles, he played an able part and served the king with wise and loyal heart. But he has quite lost his senses since he fell beneath Tartuffe's infatuating spell. He calls him brother, loves him as his life, preferring him to mother, child, or wife. Tartuffe, much pleased to find so easy a victim, has in 100 ways beguiled and tricked him, milked him of money, and, with his permission, established here a sort of inquisition.
You did well not to follow me. She stood in the door and said verbatim all she'd said before. I saw my husband coming. I think I'd best go upstairs now and take a little rest.
I'll wait and greet him here. Then I must go. I've really only time to say hello.
Sound him about my sister's wedding, please. I think Tartuffe's against it, and that he's been urging father to withdraw his blessing. As you well know, I find that most distressing. Unless Valère and my sister can marry, my hopes to marry Valère's sister will miscarry. And I'm determined.
He's coming.
Go.
Brother, good day.
Well, welcome back. I'm sorry I can't stay. How's the country? Blooming, I trust, in green.
Excuse me, brother, just one moment. Doreen, has all been well these 2 days I've been gone? How are the family? What's been going on?
2 days ago, your wife had a bad fever and a fierce headache which refused to leave her.
Oh, and Tartuffe.
Tartuffe? Why, he's round and red, busting with health and excellently fed.
Poor fellow.
That night, the mistress was unable to take a single bite at the dinner table. Her headache pains, she said, were simply hellish.
Oh, and Tartuffe.
He ate his meal with relish and zealously devoured, in her presence, a leg of mutton and a brace of pheasants.
Poor fellow.
Well, the pains continued strong, and so she tossed and tossed the whole night long. Now icy cold, now burning like a flame. We sat beside her bed till morning came.
Oh, and Tartuffe.
Why, having eaten, he rose and sought his room, already in a doze, climbed into his warm bed and snored away in perfect peace until the break of day.
Poor fellow.
After much ado, we talked her into dispatching someone for the doctor. He bled her, and the fever quickly fell.
Oh, and Tartuffe.
He bore it very well, and to keep his cheerfulness at any cost and make up for the blood Madame had lost, he drank at lunch 4 beakers full of port.
Oh, poor fellow.
Both are doing well, in short. I'll go and tell Madame you express keen sympathy and anxious interest.
That girl was laughing in your face. And though I've no wish to offend you, even so are you so dazed by this man's hocus pocus that all the world, save him, is out of focus? You've given him clothing, shelter, food, and care. Why must you also
Brother, stop right there. You do not know the man of whom you speak.
I grant you that, but my judgment's not so weak that I can't tell by his effect on others.
Oh, when you meet him, you two will be like brothers. There has been no loftier soul since time began. He is a man who... An excellent man. Yes, thanks to him, I'm a changed man indeed. Under his tutelage, my soul's been freed from earthly loves and every human tie. Why, my mother, children, brother, and wife could die, and I'd not feel a single moment's pain.
That's a fine sentiment, brother. Most humane.
Oh, had you seen Tartuffe as I first knew him, your heart, like mine, would have surrendered to him. He used to come into our church each day and humbly kneel nearby and start to pray. He'd draw the eyes of everybody there by the deep fervor of his heartfelt prayer. He'd sigh and weep, and sometimes with a sound of rapture he would bend and kiss the ground. His serving man, no less devout than he, informed me of his master's poverty. I gave him gifts, but in his humbleness he begged me every time to give him less. At length, heaven prompted me to take him in, to dwell with us, and free our souls from sin. He guides our lives, and to protect my honor stays by my wife, and keeps an eye upon her. He tells me whom she sees, and all she does, and seems more jealous than I ever was.
Good God, man. Have you lost your common sense? Or is this all some joke at my expense? How can you stand there in all sobriety?
Brother, your language savors of impiety. Too much free thinking's made your faith unsteady. And as I've warned you many times already, 'twill get you into trouble before you're through.
So I've been told before by folk like you. Being blind, you'd have all others blind as well. The clear-eyed man you call an infidel. Spare me your warnings, brother. I have no fear of speaking out for you and heaven to hear. Against affected zeal and pious knavery, there's true and false in piety, as in bravery. And just as those whose courage shines the most in battle are least inclined to boast, so those whose hearts are truly pure and lowly don't make a flashy show of being holy. There's a vast difference, it seems to me, between true piety and hypocrisy. A passing observation, but it applies.
I see, dear brother, that you're profoundly wise, and now claim your place upon the sage's perch. But unlike you, I do my own research.
Brother, I don't pretend to be a sage, nor have I all the wisdom of the age. There's just one insight I would dare to claim. I know true and false are not the same, and just as there is nothing I more revere than a soul whose faith is steadfast and sincere, so there's nothing that I find more base than specious piety says on its face.
Now then, dear brother, is your speech concluded?
Why, yes.
Your servant, sir.
Oh, no, brother. Wait, there's one more matter you agreed of late that young Valere might have your daughter's hand.
I did.
And set the date, I understand.
Quite so.
You've now postponed it, is that true?
No doubt.
The match no longer anticipated?
Who knows?
Did you mean to go back on your word?
I won't say that.
Has anything occurred which might entitle you to break your pledge?
Perhaps.
Why must you hem and haw and hedge? The boy asked me to sound you in this affair.
It's been a pleasure.
But what shall I tell Valere?
Whatever you like.
But what have you decided? What are your plans?
I plan, sir, to be guided by heaven's will.
Come, brother. Don't talk rot. You've given Valere your word. Will you keep it or not?
Good day.
This looks like poor Valere's undoing. I'll go warn him that there's trouble brewing.
Marianne,
Yes, Father?
a word with you. Come here.
What are you looking for?
Eavesdroppers, dear. I'm making sure we shan't be overheard. Someone in there could catch our every word. Ah, good. We're safe. Now, Marianne, my child, you're a sweet girl who's tractable and mild, whom I hold dear and think most highly of.
I'm deeply grateful, Father, for your love.
Well said, daughter, and you can repay me if in all things you cheerfully obey me.
To please you, sir, is what delights me best.
Good. Good. Now, what do you think of Tartuffe, our guest?
I, sir?
Yes, weigh your answer, think it through.
Oh, dear. I'll say whatever you wish me to.
That's wisely said, my daughter. Say of him then that he is the very worthiest of men, and that you're fond of him, and would rejoice in being his wife. If that should be my choice, well...
What?
What's that?
I...
Well,
Forgive me, pray.
did you not hear me?
Of whom must I say that I am fond of him and would rejoice in being his wife, if that should be your choice?
Why, of Tartuffe?
But, Father, that's false, you know. Why would you have me say what isn't so?
Because I am resolved it shall be true, that it's my wish should be enough for you.
You can't mean, Father!
Yes, Tartuffe should be alive by marriage to this family, and he's to be your husband. Is that clear? It's a father's privilege. So what are you doing in here? Is curiosity so fierce a passion with you that you must eavesdrop in this fashion?
There's lately been a rumor going about, based on some hunch or chance remark, no doubt, that you mean Marianne to wed Tartuffe. I've laughed it off, of course, as just a spoof.
You find it so incredible.
Yes, I do. I won't accept that story even from you.
Well, you'll believe it when the thing is done.
Oh, yes, of course. Go on and have your fun.
I've never been more serious in my life. Daughter, I mean it. You're to be his wife.
No, don't believe your father. It's all a hoax.
See here, young woman.
Oh, come, sir. No more jokes. You can't fool us.
How dare you talk that way?
All right. We believe you. Sad to say. But how a man like you, who looks so wise and wears a mustache of such splendid size, could be as foolish as to...
Silence, please. My girl, you take too many liberties. I'm master here, as you must not forget.
Let's discuss this calmly. Don't get upset. You can't be serious, sir, about this plan. What should that toad want with Marianne? Praying and fasting ought to keep him busy. And then, in terms of wealth and rank, what is he? Why should a man of property like you pick out a beggar son-in-law?
That will do. He lost his fortune, as he says himself, because he cared for heaven alone and little else. I mean to get him out of his present straits and help him to recover his estates, which in his part of the world have no small fame. For though he is, he's a gentleman just the same.
Yes, so he tells us. And, sir, it seems to me such pride goes very ill with piety. But this approach, I see, has drawn a blank. Let's speak, then, of his person, not his rank. Doesn't it seem to you a trifle grim to give a girl like her to a man like him? When two are so ill-suited, can't you see what the sad consequence is bound to be? A young girl's virtue is imperiled, sir, when such a marriage is imposed on her. For if one's bridegroom isn't to one's taste, it's hardly an inducement to be chaste. And then a man, with horns upon his brow, has made his wife the thing that she is now. It's hard to be a faithful wife, in short, to certain husbands of a certain sort. And a father who gives his daughter to a man she hates must answer for her sins at heaven's gates. Think, sir, before you play so risky a role.
This servant girl presumes to save my soul?
You would do well to ponder what I've said.
Daughter, we'll disregard this dunderhead. Just trust your father's judgment. Oh, I'm aware that I once promised you to young Valère, but now I hear he gambles, which greatly shocks me. What's more, I have doubts about his orthodoxy. His visits to church, I note, are very few.
Would you have him go at the same hours as you and kneel nearby to be sure of being seen?
I can dispense with such remarks, Doreen. Tartuffe, however, is sure of heaven's blessing, and that's the only treasure worth possessing.
And she'll make him a cuckold. Just wait and see.
What language?
He's a man of destiny. He's made for horns. And what the stars demand, your daughter's virtue surely can't withstand.
Don't interrupt me further. Why can't you learn that certain things are none of your concern?
It's for your own sake that I interfere.
Most kind of you. Now hold your tongue, did you hear?
If I didn't love you,
Spare me your affection.
I'll love you, sir, in spite of your objection.
Blast!
I can't bear, sir, for your honor's sake, to let you make this ludicrous mistake.
You mean to go on talking?
If I didn't protest this sinful marriage, my conscience couldn't rest.
If you don't hold your tongue, you little shrew!
What? Lost your temper, a pious man like you?
Yes! Yes! You talk and talk. I'm maddened by it. Once and for all, I tell you to be quiet!
Well, I'll be quiet, but I'll be thinking hard.
Think all you like, but you had better guard that saucy tongue of yours, or I'll... Now, child, I've weighed this matter fully.
It drives me wild that I can't speak.
Tartuffe is no young dandy, but still his person
Is as sweet as candy.
is such that, even if you shouldn't care for his other merits,
They'll make a lovely pair. If I was she, no man would marry me against my inclination and go scot-free. He would learn before the wedding day is over how readily a wife can find a lover.
it seems you treat my orders as a joke.
Why? What's the matter? 'Twas not to you I spoke.
What were you doing?
Talking to myself, that's all.
One more bit of impudence and gall, and I shall give her a good slap in the face. Daughter, you shall accept, and with good grace, the husband I've selected, your wedding date. Why don't you talk to yourself?
I have nothing to say.
Come, just one word.
No, thank you, sir. I'll pass.
Come, speak. I'm waiting.
I'm not be such an ass.
In short, dear daughter, I mean to be obeyed, and you must bow to the sound choice I've made.
I don't wed such a monster even in jest.
Daughter, that maid of yours is a thorough pest. She makes me sinfully annoyed and irritable. I can't speak further. My nerves are too unsettled. She's so upset me by her insolent talk, I'll calm myself by going for a walk.
Well? Have you lost your tongue, girl? Must I play your part and say the lines you ought to say? Faced with a fate so hideous and absurd, can you not utter one dissenting word? What good would it do? A father's power is great. Resist him now, or it will be too late. But tell him one cannot love at a father's whim, that you shall marry for yourself, not him. And that since it's you who are to be the bride, it's you, not he, who must be satisfied. And if his Tartuffe is so sublime, he is free to marry him at any time.
I vowed so long to father's strict control, I couldn't oppose him now to save my soul.
Come, Mary Ann, do listen to reason, won't you? The laird has asked for your hand. Do you love him or don't you?
Oh, how just with you! What can you mean by asking such a question, dear Doreen? You know the depth of my affection for him. I told you 100 times how I adore him.
I don't believe in everything I hear. Who knows if your professions were sincere?
They were, Doreen. And you do me wrong to doubt it. Heaven knows I've been all too frank about it.
You love him then?
Oh, more than I can express.
And he, I take it, cares for you no less?
I think so.
And you both with equal fire burn to be married?
That is our one desire.
What of Tartuffe then? What of your father's plan?
I'll kill myself and force
To wed that man! I hadn't thought of that recourse. How splendid. Just die and all your troubles will be ended. A fine solution. Oh, it maddens me to hear you talk in that self-pitying key.
Oh, how harsh you are! It's most unfair. You have no sympathy for my despair.
I've none at all for people who talk drivel and when faced with difficulties whine and snivel.
No doubt I'm timid, but it would be wrong.
True love requires a heart that's firm and strong.
I'm strong in my affection for the laird, but coping with my father is his affair.
But if your father's brain had grown so cracked over his dear Tartuffe that he can retract his blessing, though your wedding day was named, surely it's not the laird who's to be blamed.
If I defied my father, as you suggest, would it not seem unmaidenly at best? Shall I defend my love at the expense of brazenness or disobedience? Shall I parade my heart's desires and
Oh,
flaws?
I ask nothing of you. Clearly, you want to be Mrs. Tartuffe, and I feel bound not to oppose a wish so very be no little thing to be his bride. The world already rings with his renown. He's a great noble in his native town. His ears are red, he has a pink complexion, and all in all, he'll suit you to perfection.
Dear God!
Oh, how triumphant you will feel at having caught a husband so ideal.
Oh, do stop teasing and use your cleverness to get me out of this appalling mess. Advise me and I'll do whatever you say.
Ah, no, a dutiful daughter must obey her father, even if he weds her to an ape. You have a bright future. Why struggle to escape? Your husband...
Doreen, you turn my blood to ice. Stop torturing me and give me your advice.
Your servant, madam.
Doreen!
No, you deserve it. This marriage must go through.
Doreen, I beg of you!
No.
Not Tartuffe. You know I think him...
Tartuffe's your cup of tea, and you shall drink him.
I always relied and told you everything!
No, you deserve to be Tartuffified.
Well, since you mock me and refuse to care, I'll henceforth seek my solace in despair. Despair shall be my counselor and friend, and help me bring my sorrows to an end.
There now. Get up. My anger has subsided. You do deserve some pity, I've decided.
Doreen, if Father makes me undergo this dreadful martyrdom, I'll die, I know!
Don't fret. It won't be difficult to discover some plan of action. But here's Valère, your lover.
Madame, I've just received some wondrous news, regarding which I'd like to hear your views.
What news?
You're marrying Tartuffe.
I find that Father does have such a match in mind.
Your father, Madame?
Has just this minute said it's Tartuffe wishes me to wed.
Can he be serious?
Oh, indeed he can. He clearly has his heart set upon the plan.
And what position do you propose to take, Madame?
Why, I don't know.
For heaven's sake, you don't know.
No!
Well, well.
Advise me, do!
To marry the man, that's my advice to you.
That's your advice?
Yes.
Truly?
Oh, absolutely. You couldn't choose more wisely, more astutely.
Thanks for this counsel. I'll follow it, of course.
Do. I'm sure it'll cost you no remorse.
To give it didn't cause your heart to break.
I gave it, Madame, only for your sake.
And it's for your sake that I take it, sir.
Let's see which fool will prove the stubborner.
Sir, I have nothing to you. And it was flat deception, you and I.
Please, enough of that. You told me plainly to agree to wed the man my father's chosen for me. And since you deigned to counsel me so wisely, I promise, sir, to do as you advise me.
Oh, no! 'Twas not by me that you were swayed, no. Your decision was already made. Though now, to save appearances, you protest that you're betraying me at my behest.
Just as you say.
Quite so. And I now see that you were never truly in love with me.
You're free to think so if you choose.
Oh, I choose to think so. But here's a bit of news. You spurred my hand, but I know to turn for kinder treatment, as you shall quickly learn.
I'm sure you do. Your noble qualities inspire affection.
Oh, forget my qualities, please. They don't inspire you over much, I find. But there's another lady I have in mind, whose sweet and generous nature will not scorn to compensate me for the loss I've borne.
I'm no great loss, and I'm sure you'll transfer your heart quite painlessly from me to her.
I'll do my best to take it in my stride. The pain I feel at being cast aside, time and forgetfulness may put an end to. Or if I can't forget, I shall pretend to. No self-respecting person is expected to go on loving once he's been rejected.
Now that's a fine, high-minded sentiment.
One to which any sane man would assent. Would you prefer it if I pined away in hopeless passion till my dying day?
Go then! Console yourself! Don't hesitate! I wish you to. Indeed, I cannot wait.
You wish me to.
Yes.
That's the final straw. Madame, farewell. Your wish shall be my law.
Splendid!
remember is of your making. It's you who's driven me to the step I'm taking.
Of course.
Remember, too, that I am merely following your example.
I see that clearly.
Enough. I'll go do your bidding then.
Good.
You shall never see my face again.
Excellent.
Yes?
What?
What's that? What did you say?
Nothing. You're dreaming.
Ah. Well, I'm on my way. Farewell, madam.
Farewell. If you ask me, both of you are as mad can be. Do stop this nonsense now. I've only let you squabble so long to see where it would get you. Whoa there, dearest Valere.
What's this story?
Come here.
Don't! My heart's full of spleen. Don't hold me back, your wish must be obeyed.
Stop.
It's too late now. My decision's made.
Oh, good. He hates the sight of me. That's plain. I'll go and so deliver him from pain. And now you run away. Come back here. No, nothing you say will keep me here. Let's go.
She cannot bear my presence, I can see. Spare for the moment, I shall leave.
Again, sir, you shall not run away. Don't you try it. Both of you come here. Stop fussing and be quiet.
What do you want of me?
What is the point of this? We are going to have a little armistice. Now, weren't you silly to get so overheated?
Didn't you see how badly I was treated?
Aren't you a simpleton to have lost your head?
Didn't you hear the hateful things he said?
You're both great fools. Her sole desire, Valere, is to be yours in marriage. On that, I swear. He loves only you, and wants no wife but you, Marianne. On that, I'll stake my life.
Then why he advised me so, I cannot see.
On such a question, why ask advice of me?
Oh, you're impossible. Give me your hand, you two. Yours first.
Why?
And now a hand from you.
What are you doing?
There. A perfect fit. You'll suit each other better than you'll admit.
Come. Don't be so haughty. Give a man a little kindness, won't you, Marianne?
Lovers, I'll tell you, they're completely mad.
Now come. Confess to me that you were very bad to hurt my feelings as you did just now. I have a just complaint you must allow.
You must allow that you were most
Let's table that discussion for the present. Your father has a plan which must be stopped.
Advise us then, what means must be done?
We'll use all manner of means, and all at once. Your father's addled. He's acting like a dunce. Therefore, you'd better humor the old fossil. Pretend to yield to him, be sweet and docile, and then postpone as often as necessary the day of which you've agreed to marry. You'll thus gain time. Time will turn the trick. Sometimes, for instance, you'll be taken sick, and that will seem good reason for delay, or some bad omen will make you change the day. If all else fails, no man can marry you unless you take his ring and say, I do. But now let's separate. If they should find us talking here, our blood might be divine. Go and tell your friend what's occurred, and have the urge to keep her father's word. Meanwhile, we'll stir her brother into action and get Elmire as well to join on our faction. Goodbye.
Though each of us will do his best, it's your true heart in which my hope shall rest.
Regardless what father may decide, none of the Valere shall claim me as a bride.
Oh, how those words content me!
Lovers. Their tongues are never still. Be off now.
One last word.
No time to chat. You leave by this door, and you leave by that.
from settling things at once with that great quack.
Now don't give way to violent emotion. Your fathers merely talked about this notion, and words and deeds are far from being one. Much that is talked about is left undone.
No! I must stop that scoundrel's machinations. I'll go and tell him off. I'm out of patience.
Do stay calm and be practical. I'd rather my mistress dealt with him, and with your father. She has some influence over Tartuffe, I've noted. He hangs upon her words, seems most devoted, and may indeed be smitten by her charm. Pray heaven it's true. Would do our cause no harm. She sent for him just now to sound him out on this affair you're so incensed about. She'll find out where he stands and tell him to what dreadful strife and trouble would ensue if he lends countenance to your father's plan. I couldn't get in to see him, but his man says he's almost finished with prayers. Go now. I'll catch him when they come downstairs.
I want to hear this conference, and I will.
No, they must be alone.
Oh, I'll keep still.
Not you. I know your temper. You'd start a brawl, shout and stamp your foot and spoil it all. Go now.
I won't. I have a perfect right.
Lord, you're a nuisance. He's coming. Out of sight.
Whoa!
Hang up my hair shirt, put my scourge in place, and pray her on for heaven's perpetual grace. I'm going to the prison now to share my last few coins with the poor wretches there.
What expectation? What a fake.
You wish to see me?
Yes.
For mercy's sake, please take this handkerchief before you speak.
What?
From the bosom, girl. The flesh is weak and unclean thoughts are difficult to control. Such sights as that might undermine my soul.
Your soul, it seems, has very poor defenses, and flesh makes quite an impact on your senses. It's strange that you're so easily excited. My own desires are not so soon ignited. And if I saw you naked as a beast, not all your hide would tempt me in the least.
Girl! Speak more modestly. Unless you do, I shall be forced to take my leave of you.
Oh, no! It's I who must be on my way. I've just one little message to convey. Madam is coming downstairs and begs you, sir, to wait and have a word or two with her.
Gladly.
That had a softening effect. I think my guess about him was correct.
Will she be long?
Oh, no, that's her step, I hear. Oh, here she is, and I shall disappear.
May heaven, whose infinite goodness we adore, preserve your body and your soul forevermore, and bless your days and answer thus the plea of one who is its humblest votary.
I thank you for that pious wish, but please, do rise and let's be more at ease.
I trust you are once more well and strong.
Ah, yes, the fever didn't last for long.
My prayers are too unworthy, I am sure, to have gained from heaven this most gracious cure. But, lady, madam, my every supplication has had object for your recuperation.
You shouldn't have troubled so, I don't deserve it.
Your health is priceless, madam, and to preserve it, I gladly give my own, in all sincerity.
Sir, you outdo us all in Christian charity. You've been most kind, I count myself your debt.
'Twas nothing, madam. I long to serve you better.
It doesn't kind of matter I'm anxious to discuss. I'm glad that there's no one here to hinder us.
I too am glad. It fills my heart with bliss to find myself alone with you like this. For just this chance, I prayed with all my power, but prayed in vain until this happy hour.
This won't take long, sir, and I hope you'll be entirely frank and unconstrained.
Indeed, there's nothing more I'd rather do than bare my inmost heart and soul to you. But first, let me say that what remarks I've made about the constant visits you are paid were prompted not by any mean emotion, but rather a pure and deep devotion, a fervent zeal.
No need for explanation. Your sole concern, I'm sure, was my salvation.
Quite so. In such great fervor do I feel.
Oh, please, you're pinching.
'Twas from excess of zeal. I never meant to cause you pain. I swear.
I'd rather.
What could your hand be doing there?
Feeling your gown. What soft, fine woman stuff.
Extremely ticklish, that's enough.
My, what lovely lace work on your dress. The workmanship's miraculous, no less. I've not seen anything to equal it.
Yes, quite. Now let's talk business for a bit. They say my husband means to break his word and give his daughter to you, sir. Had you heard?
You did once mention it, but I confess, I dream of a different happiness. It's elsewhere, madam, that my eyes discern the promise of that bliss for which I yearn.
I see. You care for nothing here below.
Well, my heart's not made of stone, you know.
All your desire of heaven. It's one all that's earthly and pure.
A love of heavenly beauty does not preclude a proper love of earthly pulchritude. Some joys, it's true, are cling to all that heaven has made. But heaven has invested in you the greatest beauty. On that fair face, such beauties have been lavished. The eyes are dazzled, the heart is ravished. How can I look on you, O flawless creature, and not adore the author of all nature? It is, I know, presumptuous on my part to bring you this poor offering of my heart. And it's not my merit, heaven knows, but your compassion on which my hopes repose. You are my peace, my solace, my salvation. On you depends my bliss or desolation. I bide your judgment, and as you think best, I shall be either miserable or blessed.
Your declaration is most gallant, sir, but don't you think it's out of character? You've done better to restrain your passion and think before you spoke in such a fashion. It ill becomes a pious man like you.
I may be pious, but I am human too. With your celestial charms before his eyes, a man has not the power to be wise. I know such words sound strangely coming from me, but I'm no angel, nor was I meant to be. And if you blame my passion, you must needs reproach the charms on which it feeds. Your loveliness I no sooner seen than you became my soul's unrivaled queen. If in compassion for my soul's distress, you'll stoop to comfort my unworthiness, then I'll raise to you in thanks for that sweet manna, and endless hymn, and infinite hosanna. With me, of course, there need be no fear of anxiety, no fear of scandal or of notoriety. These young court gallants whom all the ladies fancy are vain in speech, action rash, and chancy. When they succeed in love, the world soon knows it. No favors granted them, but they disclose it. Men of my sort, however, love discreetly. One may trust our reticence completely. My keen sword for my good name ensures the absolute security of yours. In short, I offer you, my dear Elmire, love without scandal, pleasure without fear.
I've heard your well-turned speeches to the end, and what you urge I clearly apprehend. Are you not afraid that I may take the notion to tell my husband of your warm devotion, and supposing that he were duly told, his feelings toward you might grow rather cold?
I know, dear lady, that your exceeding charity will lead your heart to pardon my temerity, that you'll excuse my violent affection as human weakness, human imperfection, and that, O fairest, you will bear in mind that I'm but flesh and blood, and am not blind.
Some women may do otherwise, perhaps, but I will be discreet about your lapse. I'll tell my husband nothing of what's occurred if, in return, you'll give me your solemn word to advocate as forcefully as you can the marriage of Valère and Marianne, renouncing all desire to dispossess another of his rightful happiness, and...
No! Do not hush up this vile air. I heard it all inside that closet there. Oh, where heaven, in order to confound the pride of this great rascal, prompted me to hide. Oh, now I have my long-awaited chance to punish his deceit and arrogance, and give my father clear and shocking proof of the black character of his dear Tartuffe.
No, Dami. I will be content if he will study to deserve my leniency. I promise silence, don't make me break my word. To make a scandal would be too absurd. Good wives laugh off such trifles and forget them. Why should they tell their husbands and upset them?
You have your reasons for taking such a course, and I have reasons too, of equal force. Oh, to spare him now would be insanely wrong. I've swallowed my just wrath for far too long, and watched this insolent bigot bring strife and bitterness into our family life. Oh, too long he's meddled in my father's affairs, thwarting my marriage hopes and poor Valaire's. It's high time my father was undeceived, and now I've proof that can't be disbelieved. Proof that was furnished me by heaven above. It's too good not to take advantage of. Now is my chance, and I deserve to lose it, if for one moment I hesitate to use it.
Dami!
No! I must do what I think right. Oh, madame, my heart is bursting with delight, and say what you will, I shall not consent to lose this sweet revenge on which I'm bent. Oh, I'll settle matters without more ado. And here most opportunely is my cue. Hello, Father! I'm glad you could join us. Allow me to advise you on some fresh news which doubtless will surprise you. You have now just been repaid with interest for your loving kindness to our guest. He's proven his warm and grateful feelings towards you. It's with a pair of horns he would reward you. Yes, I caught him with your wife and heard his whole adulterous offer. Every word. Oh, she, with her all too gentle disposition, would not have informed you of this proposition. But I shall not make terms with brazen lechery, and feel that not to tell you would be treachery.
And I hold that one's husband's peace of mind should not be spoilt by tattle of this kind. These are my sentiments, Dami, and I wish that you had heeded me and held your peace.
Can it be true, this dreadful thing I hear?
Yes, brother. I'm a wicked man, I fear. A wretched sinner, all depraved and twisted, the greatest villain that has ever existed. My life's one heap of crimes which grows each minute. There's naught but foulness and corruption in it, and I perceive that heaven, outraged by me, has chosen this occasion to mortify me. Charge me with any deed you wish to name. I'll not defend myself, but take the blame. Believe what you are told, and drive Tartuffe like some base criminal from beneath your roof. Yes, drive me hence, and with a parting curse, I shan't protest, for I deserve far worse.
Ah, you deceitful boy! How dare you try to stain his purity with so foul a lie?
Are you so taken in by such a bluff? Did you not hear?
Enough, you rogue! Enough! Brother, let him speak. You're being unjust.
Believe his stories. The boy deserves your trust. Why, after all, should you have faith in me? How can you tell what I might do or be? Is it my good action that you base your favor upon? Do you trust my pious face? No. Don't be deceived by polished show. I'm far, alas, from being what men suppose. Though the world takes me as a man of worth, I'm truly the most worthless man on earth. Yes, my dear son, speak out now. Call me the chief of sinners, a wretch, a murderer, a thief. Clothe me with the names men most abhor. I'll not defend myself. I've earned them all and more. I'll kneel here while you pour them on my head as a just punishment for the life I've led.
This is too much, dear brother. Have you no heart?
Are you so hoodwinked by this rascal's art?
Be still, you monster. Brother, I pray you rise. Billy!
Oh, but...
Silence!
Oh, can't you realize that...
Just one word more and I'll tear you limb from limb! God's sake, brother, don't be hard to bend. I'd rather far be tortured at the stake than see him bear one scratch in my poor state.
ingrate, and I must beg you, on bended knee, to pardon him.
Such goodness cannot be. Now there's true charity.
What? Oh, you!
Villain, be still. I know your motives. I know you wish him ill. Yes, all of you, wife, children, servants, all conspire against him and desire his fall, employing every shameful trick you can to alienate me from this saintly man. Oh, but the more you seek to drive him away, the more I'll do to keep him. Without delay, I'll spite this household and confound its pride by giving him my daughter as his bride.
You're going to force her to accept his hand?
Yes, and this very night, do you understand? I shall defy you all and make it clear that I'm the one who gives the orders here. Come, wretch, kneel down and clasp his blessed feet, and ask his pardon for your black deceit.
Oh, I asked that swindler's pardon? Why, I'd rather...
So you insult him and defy your father. A stick! A stick! No. No. Release me, do. Out of my house this minute. Be off with you. And never dare set foot in it again.
Oh, well, I shall go, but...
Well, go quickly then. I disinherit you. An empty purse is all you'll get from me. Accept my curse. How he blasphemed your good name. What a son.
Forgive him, Lord, as I've already done. You can't know how it hurts when someone tries to blacken me in my dear brother's eyes.
Oh.
The mere thought of such ingratitude plunges my soul in so dark a mood. Such horror grips my heart. I gasp for air and cannot speak and feel myself near death.
You blackguard! Why did I spare you? Why did I not rip you into little pieces on the spot? Compose yourself. And don't be hurt, dear friend.
These scenes, these dreadful quarrels have got to end. I much upset your household, and I perceive the best thing will be for me to leave.
No, what are you saying?
They're all against me here. They have you think me false and insincere.
Oh, what of that? Have I ceased believing in you?
Their adverse talk will certainly continue, and charges which you now repudiate you may find credible at a later date.
No, brother, never.
Brother, a wife can sway her husband's mind in many a subtle way.
No, no.
To leave at once is the only solution. Only thus may I end their persecution.
No, I'll not allow it. You shall remain.
Well, twill mean much martyrdom and pain, but if you wish it.
Oh!
Enough! So be it. But there's one thing that needs to be settled on I see. For your dear honor and our friendship's sake, there's one precaution I feel bound to take. I shall avoid your wife and keep away.
No, you shall not. Whatever they may say, it pleases me to vex them. And for spite, I'd have them see you with her day and night. What's more, I'm going to drive them to despair by making you my only son and heir. This very day, I give to you alone clear deed and title to everything I own. A deep, good friend and son-in-law to be is more than wife or child or kin to me. Will you accept my offer, dearest son?
In all things, let the will of heaven be done.
Poor fellow! Come, we'll go drop the deed, and then let them burst with disappointed greed.
Yes, all the town's discussing it, and truly their comments do not flatter you unduly. I'm glad we met, sir, and I'll give you my view of this sad word or two. As for who's guilty, that I shan't discuss. Let's say it was Dami who caused the fuss. Assuming then that you have been ill-used by young Dami and groundlessly accused, ought not a Christian to forgive, and ought he not stifle every vengeful thought?
Alas, for my part, I should take great joy in doing so. I have nothing against the boy. I pardon all. I harbor no resentment. To serve him would afford me much contentment. But heaven's interest will not have it so. If he comes back, then I shall have to go. After his conduct, so extreme, so vicious, our further intercourse would look suspicious. God knows what people would think. Why? They described my goodness to him as a sort of pride.
Your reasoning is badly worked and stretched, and these excuses, sir, are most far-fetched. Why put yourself in charge of heaven's cause? Does heaven need our help to enforce its laws? Leave vengeance to the Lord while we live. Our duty is not to punish, but forgive.
Again, sir, let me say that I forgiven Dami, and thus obeyed the laws of heaven. But I am not commanded by the Bible to live with one who smears my name with libel.
Were you then commanded, sir, to indulge the whim of poor Oregon, and encourage him in transferring to your name a large estate to which you have no claim?
It would never occur to those who know me best to think I acted from self-interest. The treasures of this world I quite despise. Their specious glitter does not charm my eyes. And if I resign myself to taking this gift my dear brother insists on making, I do so only, as he well understands, lest so much wealth fall into wicked hands, lest to those whom it may descend in time turn it to purposes of sin and crime, and not as I shall do, make use of it for heaven's glory and mankind's benefit.
Forget these trumped-up fears. Your argument is one the rightful heir my soul resents. It is a moral burden to inherit such wealth, but give thou me a chance to bear it. Would it not be a decent thing to meet a generous and honorable retreat, rather than let the son of the house be sent for your convenience into banishment? Sir, you wish to prove the honesty of your intentions, then you must.
Sir, it is 3:30. I've certain pious duties to attend to, and hope my prompt departure won't offend you.
Damn! Stay, sir, and help Mary Ann, for heaven's sake. She's suffering so, I fear her heart will break. Her father's planned to marry her off tonight and put the poor child in a desperate plight.
Well, glad to find you all assembled here. This contract, child, contains your happiness, and what it says, I think your heart can guess.
Sir, by the heaven that finds me here distressed, and by whatever else can move your breast, do not employ a father's power. I pray you to crush my heart and force it to obey you, nor by your harsh commands that oppress me so, that I'll begrudge the duty which I owe. If my sweet hopes must perish, if ye refuse to give me the one I dared to choose, spare me, I beg, I implore, the pain of wedding one whom I abhor, and do not by heartless use of force drive me to contemplate some desperate course.
Be firm, my soul, no human weakness now.
I don't resent your love for him. Allow your heart free rein, sir. Give him your property. And if that's not enough, take mine for me. He's welcome to my money. Take it too, but I pray, do not include my person too. Spare me, I beg, and let me end the tale of my sad days behind a convent veil.
A convent. Ha! When crossed in amours, all lovesick girls have the same thought as yours. Get up. The more you loathe the man and dread him, the more ennobling it will be to wed him. Marry Tartuffe, and mortify your flesh. Enough, don't start that whimpering afresh.
But what?
Be still there. Speak when you're spoken to. Not one more bit of impudence out of you.
If I may offer a word of counsel here.
Brother, in counseling, you have no peer. All your advice is forceful, sound, and clever. I don't propose to follow it, however.
I am amazed and don't know what to say. Your blindness simply takes my breath away. You are indeed bewitched to take no warning from our account of what occurred this morning.
Madame, I know a few plain facts, and one is that you are partial to my rascal's son. Hence, when he sought to make Tartuffe the victim of a base lie, you dared not contradict him. But you underplayed your part, my pet. You should have looked more angry, more upset.
When men make overtures, must we reply with righteous anger and a battle cry? Must we turn back their amorous advances with sharp approaches and with fiery glances? Myself, I find such offenses merely amusing, and make no scenes and fusses in refusing. I find that a polite and cool rebuff discourages a lover quite enough.
I know the facts, and I shall not be shaken.
I marvel at your power to be mistaken. Would it, I wonder, carry weight with you if I could show you that our tale was true?
Show me?
Yes.
Right.
Come. What if I found a way to make you see the facts as plain as day?
Nonsense.
Do answer me. Don't be absurd. I'm not now asking you to take my word. Suppose that from some hiding place in here, you learn the whole sad truth by eye and ear. What would you say of your good friend after that?
Why, I'd say nothing. By Jehoshaphat, it can't be true.
You've too long been deceived, and I'm quite tired of being disbelieved. Come now, let's put my statements to the test, and you shall see the truth made manifest.
I'll take that challenge. And now do your uttermost. We'll see how you make good your empty boast.
Send him to me.
He's crafty. Mighty hard to catch the cunning scoundrel off his guard.
No. Amorous men are gullible. Their conceit so blinds them, they're never too hard to cheat. Have him come down. Please, lead us for a bit. Pull up this table and get under it.
What?
It is essential that you are well hidden.
Why then?
Oh, heavens, just do as you are bidden. Under the table now, and once you are there, take care that you are neither seen nor heard.
Well, I'll indulge you, since I gave my word to see you through this infantile charade.
Once it's over, you'll be glad we played. I'm going to act quite strangely now, and you must not be shocked by anything I do. Whatever I say, you must excuse as part of the deceit that I am forced to use. I shall engage in the task of making that impostor drop his mask. I'll give encouragement to his bold desires and furnish the fuels of his amorous fires. Since it is for your sake and his destruction, I shall seem to yield to his seduction. I'll gladly stop whenever you decide that all of your doubts are fully satisfied. I'll count on you that once you've seen the sort of man he is to intervene and not expose me to his odious lust one moment longer than you feel you must. Remember, you are to save from my life. Whenever, hush, he's coming. Keep out of sight.
You wish to have a word with me, I'm told.
Yes, I have a little secret to unfold. Before I speak, however, it would be wise to close that door and look about for spies. The very last thing to do now is a repetition of this morning's row. I've never been so badly caught off guard, and oh, how I feared for you. You saw how hard I tried to make that troublesome dummy control his temper and hold his peace. In my confusion, I didn't have the sense to simply contradict his evidence. But, as it turns out, that was for the best, and all has worked out in our interest. This storm has only bettered your position. My husband doesn't have the least suspicion. And in mockery of all those who do, he bid me be continually with you. That's why now, quite fearless of reproof, I can be alone with my Tartuffe. And when my heart perhaps all too quick to yield, feels free to let its passion be used.
Madam, do words confuse me? Not long ago, you spoke in quite a different style, you know.
Sir, if that refusal made you smart, it's little you know of a woman's heart, or what the heart is trying to convey when it resists in such a feeble way. Always at first, our modesty prevents a frank avowal of tender sentiments. However high the passion which inflames us still, to confess its power somehow shames us. Thus we reluct at first, yet in a tone that tells you that our heart has been overthrown, that what our lips deny, our pulse confesses, and in time, all knows resumes yeses. I fear that my words are all too frank and free, and a poor excuse of a woman's modesty, but tell me, if you will, would I try to make them easy still? would I have listened, calm and unoffended, until your lengthy offer of love was ended? And been so very mild in my reaction, had your sweet words not given me satisfaction? And when I tried to force you to undo the marriage plans that my husband had in view, what did my urgent pleading signify? Is not that I admired you, and that I deplored the thought that someone else, my own heart, the heart I wished was mine alone.
Madam, no happiness is so complete as from when lips we love come words so sweet. Their nectar floods my every sense, and drains in honeyed rivulets through all my veins. To please you is my joy, my only goal. Your love is the restorer of my soul. And yet, I must beg leave now to confess some lingering doubts as to my happiness. Might this not be a trick? Might not the catch be you wish for me to break off the match with Marianne and so have fame to love me? I shan't quite trust your fond opinion of me until the feelings you've expressed so sweetly are demonstrated somewhat more concretely. And you have shown by certain kind concessions that I may put my faith in your profession.
Oh, why be in such a hurry? Was my heart exhausted fancy at the very start? To make that sweet admission cost me dear, but you'll not be content, it would appear, until my store of favors is dispersed from the last farthing of the very first.
The less we merit, the less we dare to hope. With our doubts, mere words can never cope. We trust no promised bliss till we receive it. Not till a joy is ours can we believe it. I, who so little merit your esteem, can't credit this fulfillment of my dream, and shan't believe it, madam, until I savor some palpable assurance of your favor.
My, how tyrannical your love can be, and how it flutters and perplexes me. Must you howl and harry me to death? Can you not give me time to catch my breath? Can it be right to press me with such force? Give me no quarter, shut me, no remorse, and take advantage with your stern insistence of the fond feelings that needed my resistance.
Well, if you look with favor upon my love, why then, begrudge me some clear proof thereof.
Oh, but how can I consent without offense to heaven, for which you hold such reverence?
If heaven is all that holds you back, do not worry. I can remove that hindrance in a hurry. So you obstruct our path.
Must one not be afraid of heaven's wrath?
Madam, forget such fears and be my pupil, and I shall teach you how to conquer scruple. Some joys, it's true, are wrong in heaven's eyes. Yet, heaven is not averse to compromise. Assuage my keen desires, and feel no dread. The sin, if any, shall be on my head. You have that cough.
Yes, it's bad indeed.
A bit of licorice may be what you need.
No, I've a stubborn cold. It'll take much more than licorice to cure it.
How aggravating.
Oh, more than I can say.
If you're still troubled, think of things this way. No one shall know our joys, save us alone. And there's no evil till the act is known. It's scandal, madam, which makes it an offense. And it's no sin to sin in confidence.
Clearly, I must do as you require and yield to your importunate desire. It is apparent now that nothing less will satisfy you, so I acquiesce. To go so far is much against my will. I'm vexed it should come to this. But still, since you are so determined, since you will not allow mere words to convince you, and since you ask for concrete evidence, I see nothing for it now but to comply. If it's simple, if I am wrong to do it, so much worse than anything else. The fault surely cannot be charged to me.
The fault, if any, shall be on me.
Open the door and peek out. I don't want my husband poking about.
Why worry about the man? Each day he grows more gullible. One could lead him by the nose. The finest with the light. If he saw the worst, doubt his sight.
Nevertheless, do step out for a minute into the hallway and make sure no one's in it.
That man's a perfect monster, I must admit. I'm simply stunned. I can't get over it.
One. Coming out so soon. How premature. Get back and hide and wait until you're sure. Stay till the end and be convinced completely. We mustn't stop till things are proven concretely.
Hell never harbored anything so vicious.
Tut. Don't be hasty. Try to be judicious. Get back under and make sure there's no mistake. No jumping to conclusions for heaven's sake.
No! All things have worked out to perfection. I've given the neighboring rooms a full inspection. No one's about, and now I may at last.
Hold on, my passionate fellow. Not so fast. I should advise a little more restraint. Well, so you thought you'd fool me, my dear saint. How soon you wearied of the saintly life. Wedding my daughter, coveting my wife. I've long suspected you, and had a feeling that soon I'd catch you at your double dealing. Just now you've given me evidence galore. It's quite enough. I've no wish for more.
I'm sorry I treated you so slyly, but circumstances force me to be wily.
Brother, you can't think.
No more talk from you. Just out of this household without more ado.
What I intended.
That seems fairly clear. Spare me your falsehoods and get out of here.
No. I'm the master. You're the one to go. This house belongs to me. I'll have you know, and I shall show you that you can't hurt me with this contemptible conspiracy. That those who cross me know not what they do, and that I have means to expose and punish you. Avenge offended heaven, and make you grieve that ever you dared order me to leave.
What was the point of all that angry chatter?
Dear God, I'm worried. This is no laughing matter.
How so?
I fear I understood his drift. I'm much disturbed about that deed of gift.
You gave him?
Yes. It's all been drawn and signed. But one thing more is weighing on my mind.
What?
I'll tell you, but first, let's see if there's a certain strongbox in his room upstairs.
Where are you going so fast?
God knows.
Then wait! Let's have a conference and deliberate on how this situation is to be met.
That strongbox has me utterly upset. This is the worst of many, many shocks.
Is there some fearful mystery in that box?
My poor friend Argas brought that box to me, with his own hands in utmost secrecy. 'Twas on the very morning of his flight. It's full of papers which, if they came to light, would ruin him. Or such is my impression.
Then why did you let it out of your possession?
Those papers vexed my conscience, and it seemed best to ask the counsel of my pious guest. The cunning scoundrel got me to agree to leave the strongbox in his custody, so that in case of an investigation, I could employ a slight equivocation and swear I didn't have it, and thereby, at no expense to conscience, tell a lie.
It looks to me as if you're out on a limb. Trusting him with that box and offering him that deed of gift were actions of a kind would scarcely indicate a prudent mind. With two such weapons, he does have the upper hand, and since you're vulnerable as matters stands, you've erred once more in bringing him to bay. You should have acted in some subtle way.
Just think of it. Behind that fervent face, a heart so wicked and a soul so base, I took him in, a hungry beggar, and then enough! By God, I'm through with pious men. Henceforth, I'll hate the whole false brotherhood and persecute them worse than Satan could.
Ah! There you go. Extravagant as ever. Why can you not be rational? You never manage to take the middle course, it seems, but jump instead between absurd extremes. You've recognized your recent mistake and falling victim to a pious fake. Now, to correct that error, must you embrace an even greater error in its place? Be cautious in bestowing admiration and cultivate a sober moderation. And it is best to err if err one must, as you have done upon the side of trust.
Father, I hear that scoundrels are threats against you, that he pridefully forgets.
It's true, my boy. I'm too distressed for tears.
Oh, leave it to me, sir. Let me trim his ears. Faced with such insolence, we must not waver. Oh, I shall rejoice in doing you the favor of cutting short his life and your distress.
Quite a display of young hot-headedness. Do learn to moderate your fists of rage. In this just kingdom, this enlightened age, one does not settle things by violence.
I hear strange tales of very strange events.
Yes, strange events which these two eyes beheld. The man's ingratitude is unparalleled. I saved a wretched pauper from starvation, house him, and treat him like a blood relation, shower him every day with my largesse, give him my daughter and all that I possess, and meanwhile, the unconscionable knave tries to induce my wife to misbehave. And not content with such extreme rascality, now threatens me with my own liberality, and aims by taking base advantage of the gifts I gave him out of Christian love to drive me from my house, a ruined man, and make me end a pauper as he began.
Poor fellow.
No, my son, I'll never bring myself to think him guilty of such a thing.
How's that?
The righteous always were maligned.
Speak clearly, mother. Say what's on your mind.
I mean that I can smell a rat, my dear. You know how everybody hates him here.
And that has no bearing on the case at
I
all.
told you 100 times when you were small that virtue in this world is hated ever. Malicious men may die, but malice? Never.
No doubt that's true, but how does it apply?
They've turned you against them by a clever lie.
I've told you I was there and saw it done.
Ah, slanderers will stop at nothing, son.
Mother, I'll lose my temper. For the last time, I tell you I was witness to the crime.
The tongues of spite are busy night and noon, and to their venom no man is immune.
You're talking nonsense. Can't you realize I saw it? Saw it. Saw it. With my eyes. Saw. Do you understand me? Must I shout it into your ears before you'll cease to doubt it?
Appearances can deceive, my son. Dear me, we cannot always judge by what we see.
Drat! Drat!
One often interprets things awry. Good can seem evil to a suspicious eye.
Was I to see his pawing at Elmire as an act of charity?
Until his guilt is clear, a man deserves the benefit of the doubt. You should have waited to see how things turned out.
Great God in heaven! What more proof did I need? Was I to sit there watching until he... you drive me to the brink of impropriety.
No, a man of such surpassing piety could not do such a thing. You cannot shake me, I don't believe it, and you cannot make me.
You vex me so that if you weren't my mother, I'd say to you, some dreadful thing or other.
It's your turn now, sir, not to be listened to. You wouldn't trust us, and now she won't trust you.
My friends, we're wasting time which should be spent in facing up to our predicament. I fear that scoundrel's threats weren't made in sport.
Do you think he'd have the nerve to go to court?
I doubt he will. They find it all too crude a case of swindling and ingratitude.
Don't be too sure. He wouldn't be at a loss to give his claims a high righteous gloss, and clever rogues with far less valid cause have trapped their victims in a web of laws. I say again that to antagonize a man so strongly armed was most unwise.
I know it, but the man's appalling cheek outraged me so I couldn't control my feet.
I wish to heaven that we could devise some truce between you, or some compromise.
If I'd known the cards he held, I'd not rouse his anger with my little plot.
day. Dear sister, kindly, let me see your master.
He's involved with company. Cannot be disturbed just now, I fear.
I hate to intrude, but what has brought me here will not disturb your master. In any event, indeed, my news will make him most content.
Your name?
Just say that I bring greetings from Monsieur Tartuffe, on whose behalf I've come.
Sir, he's a very gracious man, and bears a message from Tartuffe, which he declares will make you most content.
Upon my word, I think this man had best be seen and heard.
Perhaps he has some settlement to suggest. How shall I treat him? What manner would be best?
Control your anger, and if he should mention some fair adjustment, give him your full attention.
Good health to you, good sir. May heaven confound your enemies, and may your joys abound.
A gentle salutation. It confirms my guess that he's here to offer terms.
I always held your family most dear. I served your father, sir, for many a year.
Sir, I must ask your pardon. To my shame, I cannot now recall your face or name.
Loyal is the name. I'm from Normandy, and I'm a bailiff in all modesty. For 14 years, praise God, it has been my humble boast to serve with honor in that vital post, and I'm here today, if you will permit me the liberty to serve you with this writ.
To what?
Now, please, sir, let us have no friction. It is nothing but an order of eviction. You are to move your goods and family out and make room for new occupants without deferment or delay, and give the keys.
I leave this house?
Why, yes, sir, if you please. This house, from the cellar to the roof, belongs now to Monsieur Tartuffe. He is now lord and master of your estate by virtue of deed of present date written in clearest legal phrasing.
Your insolence is utterly amazing.
Young man, my business is not here with you, but with your wise and temperate father who, like every worthy citizen, stands in awe of justice and would never obstruct the law. But not for a million would you rebel against authority. I know that well, nor will you make trouble or interfere with the execution of my duties here.
Someone may execute a smart tattoo on those black breeches of yours before you're through.
Sir, bid your son be silent. I much regret to mention such a nasty threat of violence in writing my report.
This man Royale is the most disloyal sort.
I love all men of upright character, and when I agreed to serve these papers, sir, it was your feelings that I had in mind. I couldn't bear to see the case assigned to someone else who might esteem you less, and thus subject you to unpleasantness.
What's more unpleasant than telling a man to leave his house and home?
You'd like a short reprieve? If you desire it, sir, I shall not press you. But wait until tomorrow to dispossess you. Splendid! I'll come and stay the night here then, quietly, with half a score of men. For form's sake, you might bring me just before you go to bed the keys to the front door. My men, I promise, will be on their best behavior, and not disturb your rest. But right early, sir, and you must be quick, you'll move out all your furniture, every stick.
I may be all but bankrupt, but I vow I'd give 100 francs, here and now, just for the pleasure of landing one good clout right on the end of that complacent snout.
Careful. Don't make things worse.
My boots so itches to give that beggar a good kick in the britches.
Monsieur Loyal, I'd love to hear the whack of a stout stick across your fine broad back.
Take care. A woman, too, may go to jail if she uses threatening language to a bailiff.
Oh, enough. Sir, it must not go on. Give me that paper, please, and then be gone.
Well, au revoir. May God give you all good cheer.
May God confound you, and him who sent you here. Now, mother, was I right or not? This writ should change your notion of Tartuffe a bit. Do you perceive his villainy at last?
I'm thunderstruck. I'm utterly aghast.
Oh, come, be fair. You mustn't take offense at this new proof of his benevolence. He's acting out of selfless love, I know. Material things enslave the soul, and so he kindly has arranged your liberation from all that might endanger your salvation.
Will you not ever hold your tongue, you dunce?
Come! You must take some action, and at once!
Go tell the world of the low trick he tried. The deed of gift will sure be nullified by such offenses in public rage. Will not permit the wretch to carry out his plot.
So, though I can bring more bad news, such is the danger that I cannot choose. A friend who's extremely close to me and knows my interest in your family has for my sake presumed to violate the secrecy that's due to things of state, and sends me word that you are in a plight, from which your one salvation lies in flight. That scoundrel who's opposed upon you so denounced you to the king an hour ago. And their supporting evidence displayed a strongbox of a certain renegade, whose papers, so he testified, you had disloyally agreed to hide. Don't know what charges may be pressed, but there's a warrant out for your arrest. Tartuffe is instructed furthermore to guide the arresting officer to your door. My carriage is outside to take you hence. This money should cover all expense. Let's lose no time, or you shall be undone. The sole defense in this case is to run. I shall go with you all the way, and place you in a safe refuge, which shall never trace you.
Alas, dear boy, I wish I could show you my gratitude for everything I owe you. But now's not the time. I pray the Lord I may live to give you your reward. Oh, farewell, my dears. Be careful.
Gently, sir. Gently. Stay right where you are. No need for haste. Your lodging isn't far. You're off to prison by order of the prince.
This is the crowning blow, you wretch. And since it means my total ruin and defeat, your villainy is now at last complete.
You needn't try to provoke me. It's no use. Those who serve heaven must expect abuse.
You are indeed most patient, sweet, and blameless.
How he exploits the name of heaven. It's shameless.
Your taunts and mockeries are all for naught. To do my duty is my own thought.
Your love of duty is most meritorious, and what you've done is little short of glorious.
All deeds are glorious, madam, which obey the sovereign prince who sent me here today.
I rescued you when you were destitute. Have you forgotten that, you thankless fruit?
No. I well remember everything. But my first duty is to the king. That obligation is so paramount that other claims beside it do not count.
Hypocrite!
All that we most revere, he uses to cloak his plots and camouflage his ruses.
If it is true that you are animated by pure and loyal zeal, as you have stated, why was this zeal not roused until you sought to make Oregon a cuckold and been caught?
Sir, spare me of this clamor. It's growing shrill. Please, carry out your orders if you will.
Yes, I have delayed too long, sir. Thank you, kindly. You're just the proper person to remind me. Come, you're off to join the other boarders in a damned prison, according to his orders.
Who? I, sir?
Yes,
To prison. This can't be true.
I owe an explanation, but not to you. Sir, everything is well. Rest easy and be grateful. We serve a prince to whom all sham is hateful. A prince who sees into our innermost hearts and can't be fooled by any trickster's arts. The king soon recognized Tartuffe as one notorious by another name who's done so many vicious crimes that one could fill 10 volumes with them and be writing still. But to be brief, our sovereign was appalled by this man's treachery towards you, which he called the last worst villainy of a vile career, and made me to follow the impostor here to see how gross his impudence could be, and force him to restore your property. Your private papers, by the king's command, are hereby seized and given to your hand. The king, by royal order, invalidates the deed, which gave this rascal your estates, and pardons furthermore your grave offense in harboring and exiles documents. By this decrees, the king rewards you for your courageous deed in the late war, and shows how heartfelt is his satisfaction in recompensing any worthy action. How much he prizes merit, and how he makes more of men's virtue than of their mistakes.
Well, traitor,
Now you see.
Brothers, please, let's not descend to such indignities. Leave the poor wretch to his unhappy fate and don't say anything to aggravate his present woes, but rather hope that he will soon embrace an honest piety.
Well said. Let's go at once, and gladly kneel. Express the gratitude which all are feeling. And then, when that first great duty has been done, we'll turn with pleasure to a second one. And give Belay, whose love has proven so true, the wedded happiness which is his due.